Hi, Denise. How are you? Mayor Denise Mitchell. I've got to say it officially.
Well, good evening, all. Thank you for inviting me. I'm doing well for Sunday evening.
Awesome.
Doing well.
Awesome. I know you were busy knocking on doors all day, so I know you're probably tired.
You got that right.
Well, thank you for joining us. We do appreciate
Thank
you.
you for being here with us.
All right, so to
Thank you.
introduce everyone to Denise, she's been on the College Park, Maryland City Council since 2009, serving for 6 years as Mayor Pro Tem. After taking a term off from the council, she rejoined in 2017 and is now the acting mayor. Outside of College Park, she has various leadership roles, including president of the Maryland Municipal League, board member for the National League of Cities, a member of the board of directors for the Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments, and as vice chair for the College Park City University Partnership Education Committee. She's lived in College Park Woods community for over 45 years and has worked in early childhood education for about 30 years and now works for Prince George's County government. Thank you so much for joining us. Quite a resume.
Thank you. Thank you.
Quite a
Quite a
resume.
Oh,
resume.
thank you. Work hard. Worked hard for all of that.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right. So the first question I have to ask, same question we ask all our first time guests. What is the one thing that our audience can't find right now on Google about you?
That I am a menace. I grew up as Dennis the Menace. I was the only child, and I made up for that in several different ways. So you will not find out anything about that about me.
She's a menace.
A menace. My parents will tell you she cut up.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Hey, sometimes it's good to be a menace, a menace to society. You can be a positive menace for society, you know.
I
You have to
tried, but
understand.
growing up,
You have to
I was,
understand the other side of
pushing.
that issue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Correct. But as an only child, I was pushing the envelope sometimes.
Hey, do what you gotta do.
She's
Oh, yeah.
precocious.
All right.
Yeah, my dad wouldn't have said that.
He wouldn't have called you precocious. All right. All right. So I've got to start out our questioning with elephant in the room, right? Mayor
Yes.
Patrick Williams' arrest.
Mm.
You know, again, as one of our frequent guests, we were shocked by the arrest. I mean, we were just looking at news reports like, what? So I know you've actually run against Patrick in the past, and you've worked with him for many years as a council member. So what was the first thing that went through your mind, and how did you feel when it happened?
Oh, Neil, the first thing I was in shock. I was in total shock. I'll even tell people that I started crying because
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I broke down and cried because this young man had a promising future
He
in
really did.
politics.
Yeah.
And I knew we talked many times about his future interest. And so to receive the call that this was going on, it was just devastating to me. Words couldn't even express. That's why I said I just broke down and cried because could not believe what was happening, and so it's a lot to take on and to think about, especially as you say, trying to move the city forward because you have to focus on the residents and trying to help them to heal
Yeah.
during this time.
Yeah, and it sounds like you're like me, where I considered him a friend. He lived right down a couple of blocks from me, and every time I was down by every time he had some type of event, I'd be over there and hang out. And
Right.
we had him on the podcast, and so it was shocking. I mean, I was just like, it's just is this the same guy? I was just and I'm really
Yeah.
I really have a soft spot for children and children's issues, and especially abuse. And I just I couldn't just reconcile that with the person I had met.
I know. Again, being 35 years as an early childhood administrator, you try to, sometimes you think you know the signs or
Mm-hmm.
that show you that someone's going through something. Never
Never would have
thought
guessed.
that in
Totally.
a million years. And the first couple of days was just trying to process it, and then listening to residents, and at the same time having to work with some principals at schools,
Mm.
because how do they talk to their children about this man who was coming into their schools and talking about being a mayor and local government? That was a lot to take on, a lot to process, and it still is, but it's just words couldn't even put together what I was feeling the first couple of days, from range of emotions of crying, angry,
Mm-hmm.
distraught, just figuring out how I have to compose myself to be the leader and move the city forward. And I had to decompartmentalize my emotions to now focusing and trying to make sure the day-to-day operations working in tandem with the city council
Mm-hmm.
and the city manager, assistant city manager, making sure that they are okay as well,
That's a
and
good point.
keeping yeah, and that was
Yes.
important because a lot of them knew him personally as well.
Mm-hmm.
So making sure they were okay, but making sure also that the services were still being rendered to our residents here in College Park.
Yeah. Now, as someone who served as Mayor Pro Tem and now you're running for mayor, how do you address those issues and ensure like the citizens of College Park have confidence and trust in their elected officials if you're elected mayor?
So I'll tell you a little bit of history about myself personally. I am a granddaughter of a preacher. I'm a preacher's child's
Hmm.
granddaughter, and my dad was a veteran. So integrity and accountability is paramount in my family. So serving as Mayor Pro Tem, and I was honored that Patrick selected me, helped me to mold my leadership skills from working as an administrator, as well as working in the several leadership positions that I have, to be ready for this time such as this. So
I didn't actually
being put
realize
in the
that.
hat on,
I didn't realize he selected you.
Oh, nice.
yes,
Yeah.
Oh.
he selected, and then the council votes on the selection. So
Oh, I didn't realize
yes,
that. Okay.
yes. So it was, so people realized that yes, we ran against each other in 2015.
Right.
But coming back in 2017, we formed a very formidable relationship as far as professionally, and we got to know each other personally. And so um, I asked for the consideration, and I know there's others that asked as well, but he selected me to be his mayor pro tem.
Wow.
And he knew what I could bring to the table as far as leadership skills, as far as, like, again, as you announced, you were doing my introduction, serve on the COG board of directors, having the opportunity to network with mayors and other county leaders across the DMV area, as well as currently serving as the president of the Maryland Municipal League, 157 towns and cities in the state of Maryland. So frequently I have to go down to Annapolis to testify on various bills that impact local government. So those opportunities prepare me for such a time as this.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
That's incredible. So, what else would you say sets you apart from other candidates running for mayor? And how do your experiences and leadership roles in various organizations and committees make you the best person for the job?
Yeah, because we had Fazul Kabir on here, and we've had
Oh,
Kate Kennedy on here, and they shared their plans, like Rod B. But I also want to know where you align as well. I want to know where you're different and you align.
well,
Hmm.
I would say I am a collaborator.
Okay.
I am a person who can talk to people from all, I'll talk to people. I sit down with people to talk to them about where their concerns are. And I try to, and I use the word, and my colleagues will laugh, I try to strike a balance, especially on issues that impact our residents. I feel that it's important to understand that the role of the mayor is a person who's a facilitator, the person who brings people together. But as you bring people together, you have to give them the tools and knowledge in order to make informed decisions. And part of that is making sure that they are out in their communities and talking to their residents about things that we're going to be talking about in our council meetings. So I see myself as a collaborator. I see myself as a person who really tries to impart wisdom. I try to be the role model for others because, again, I go back to being an early childhood, being a director for daycare. Some days you didn't have the cook, you didn't have the teacher, so I had to go in and be the cook, the bus driver, the teacher, and all that.
Everything.
And my everything,
Mm.
and my staff truly appreciated me for showing that I can do the work that they do, and they always were able to follow me. So those are the things that I will bring to the table. And I talk about my tagline: being a mobile mayor, taking the office of the mayor out of City Hall and coming into the community. It is important right now that residents know that the person that's going to be your next mayor is a person who's trustworthy, who is going to sit there and seek solutions to your concerns. I might not have all the answers. I will tell you up front if I don't, but I will be out there in the community. And if we make a mistake, I'll be the first one to say that we did wrong and I apologize and we need to have your acceptance
Accountability.
and let's move accountability to move forward.
I like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Miss Denise, your bio
Oh,
mentioned
no,
that you
Miss
had.
Denise. Just say Denise. No, Miss Denise. Just say Denise. I'm not that old yet. I'm not going to claim the Miss part yet.
Come on, Miss
Okay.
Joni. We can do
We're
better.
doing
Miss
good.
Johnny.
Just being polite. No, your
I
bio.
appreciate
Your
it.
bio. Your bio mentioned you had 3 main drives that you look forward to as mayor, and one of them you mentioned was supporting the community by unifying, by being one College Park, so to speak. So I just wanted to know, what are some ways, other than like you mentioned collaborating, what are some ways or ideas that you have to unify College Park?
Mm,
So go back to, and I ran that same tagline in 2015. Um, having coffee with the mayor,
mm,
having office hours with the mayor,
mm.
having actual social gatherings with the mayor and the council. People need to
Nice.
see, and it's ironic when knocking on doors, some people still don't know who their council member is.
Oh,
And
wow.
that's concerning to
That
me.
would be
That's
concerning.
a real big concern because this is the person that's acting on your behalf to make informed decisions. So that means we are not doing our job. And that means we really have to start the engagement all over again and get really into the heart of the community. And that is just being out there more in the community. And that was one of the reasons why, as the council, we discussed the changing of our meetings because we have meetings every Tuesday of the
Mm-hmm.
month
Yep.
and we wanted to decrease the number of times that we meet. So I was a firm believer of having it only twice a month and letting the other 2 months where we can be out in the community with staff. That's paramount. It's paramount right now, and too much in many areas and local government around the United States. The same issues are cropping up in regards to residents are having, in some instance, issues of trust, lack of transparency of their local elected officials. And I'm a firm believer that if you keep the community engaged, then your issues about transparency and accountability and integrity will go away.
So you're suggesting fewer. You're suggesting fewer council member meetings.
Council meetings, yes.
Okay, because
Twice a month.
right now it's weekly, right? And you're trying to
It's
go down.
weekly. I'm trying to go down because you have to know. I am a firm believer, and when I first ran in 2009, I'll tell you that I was summoned to the late Anna Owens' house. She has been the only female mayor that served in College Park.
Mm,
I thought I was going to only be there for half an hour. I sat there for 3.5 hours.
mm,
And she gave me some very key jewels and nuggets. And one of them was you have to know the pulse of your community in order to enact proper legislation. If you do not know, how can you serve as a council member? And most importantly, how can you serve as a mayor if you don't know the pulse of your community? So that's why I would like us to go to 2 meetings and that the other 2 meetings be where we're out doing town halls, listening sessions, talking about our strategic plan, talking about our budget, talking about the money that we receive from the government in the form of ARPA. How are we utilizing that? That's very important.
I like that
That's
plan.
wonderful. Speaking of community engagement and that it's Earth Day weekend, did you participate in any Earth Day activities this
Oh,
weekend?
good question.
Well, I'll be candid with you. No, I did not. I did not. I was door knocking with the residents, and I was that part of my Earth Day, if I can slant it a little bit, looking at potholes and driveways.
But no, one of the main issues people are facing in our nation in general is finding affordable housing. I'm sure
Yes.
that College Park
Yeah.
has their own degree of that issue as
We
well.
do.
How do you plan to maybe address that issue, or if you have any plans on addressing the affordable housing and renting issue?
No, thank you for that question. And that's one of my tenets as well in regards to affordable housing. Back in the late, I should say early 80s, the former Mayor Joe Page created the City College Park University Partnership, which part of that was the Housing Task Force. And at that time, its sole intention was to build housing in order for students to come out the community and back on campus. With that being said, we have enough student housing. We don't have housing which is affordable for students, and we don't have a housing which is affordable for first time home buyers as well as for seniors who want to downsize. So what I would like to look at is having a mixed use type of approach and looking to our partners in accounting as well as other external stakeholders to talk about the opportunities that we can use around the city to actually impart affordable housing in down in District 3. There's some in District 1, but also in alignment with, we could have the Purple Line coming up. So that will be a key opportunity for us to look at trying to figure out ways to make that work.
For Gianni and Robbie, you may not know what the Purple Line is. Basically, we have a metro system, and so this is a particular line that's coming through College Park, and they're
Oh,
working on building it right now.
I'm sorry.
okay.
And
Oh.
also definitely if we win the bid for the FBI building
Mm.
to come to Greenbelt, that will
That'd be
be another
fantastic.
key factor for us to look at trying to do affordable housing. And I would like to look at our partners in the Virginia area who are already doing some best practices with Amazon, and hopefully we can bring that to the table here in College Park and have some robust discussions regarding that.
Yeah.
That's
So
amazing.
I wanted to ask a question about the University of Maryland. So one of the things, and I've talked to your opponents about, was one of the things that I didn't like about Patrick's terms was not that there wasn't, I appreciated the growth in the city,
Right.
but I felt like all of the growth was happening around the the university. And I'm curious how much effort you'll put into, uh, getting some more growth and more development in the communities, in the neighborhoods, as opposed to. And I do hope that we continue the partnership with University of Maryland, but I'd really like to see more development in the communities. But there was one other question that occurred to me as we were talking was, where does the tax base come from for College Park? And how much of it comes from students and the university? How much of that tax base comes from the students' university versus the people in the neighborhoods and communities?
Well, to answer your first question in
Okay.
regards to the partnership with University of Maryland, yes, it has always been a contentious point of view by some, because university for many years would not even engage the city at all for any type of discussions regards to development, economic development. Where I see us now moving forward, since we do have a new president, Dr. Pines,
Mm-hmm.
is having more robust discussions about what are the city's needs versus what are the university's needs. Now, let me be clear. University of Maryland is going to develop regardless if they have the
Of
city
course.
at the table or not. So let me be clear about that.
Yep.
What is key is having a mayor who can clearly define the needs of the city and able to stand in the trench to protect that and tell the University of Maryland that we need X, Y, and Z. We don't need you building, for instance, taking part of the golf course at University of Maryland, which impacts my area in District 4. Because that would really that would tear up the alignment of Metzrock Road. That will bring a hindrance to the residents in Crystal Springs. So you have to have a mayor that you can have nice conversations, but you can be firm about what your intentions are. And that needs to happen moving forward. And again, it has to happen in a collaborative spirit. We can agree to disagree, but I hope it won't be taken as that you're going to continue to do what you want to as the University of Maryland, without understanding that the city of College Park will insert themselves. And as the next mayor, I will insert myself at the table in order to make sure the message is given loud and clear. Um, to the tax base, you have the residents and the commercial pay the same tax base. There's the current conversation is currently coming up for our budget is trying to increase the commercial tax base. To make it more to bring additional revenue, and the residents don't have to take on the burden. Now the students are only here 9 months out of the year,
So you can't collect taxes from them.
Right, taxes. Well, it depends. I'm not gonna put my foot in the mouth and make an inaccurate statement, but they do produce to the tax base by going to the stores and living at the different dorms and housing. But the burden is on the residents.
Do we have
And
a
we have
sales
to look
tax?
we don't have a sales tax. We just have a commercial tax base a tax that is shared
on the larger businesses. Now,
Right.
I'm concerned about, because I did hear it in your debate. I'm a little bit concerned about it affecting small businesses. Will you have provisions in there to make sure it doesn't affect small business? Because, of course, as you know, my wife owns a small business here in College Park. Yeah.
Correct. So that's why if you saw our council session, everyone was in agreement with it. And I said, I still have a question mark because of small business owners. If we increase the tax base of commercial, that means regardless if you're small business or large business, you all will be affected, and we can't phase it in. So my concern is, let's have a conversation with the commercial entities first before we even try to adopt something such as this, because it's going to create a drastic change. We have not done this as long as I've been on the council, even from previous council. We have not done anything like this, increasing the tax base on commercial. And we talk about we want to bring in small business owners. That's one of my keys. I've had business roundtables in my district in the past 11 years, trying to help support our small businesses. I would like to see us do a SBE within our economic development, bring in federal grants and training for small businesses. But if you're going to create, if you're saying that on one hand, and then on the other hand, you're talking about let's now increase the tax base on commercial entities, that doesn't seem that's striking a balance. That seems like it's really, you're saying it, but you're not really willing to help the small business owners who are here. And that's a concern for me. So that's why I say I have a question mark on that. Until I have engagement with my small businesses, I need to understand how they will be impacted by it.
Yeah, I would hope that small businesses would not be impacted. Robbie, I wanted to give you the last question.
I really didn't have anything because the questions that I had prepared overlapped with everything. Great questions that were put out here. So no, you've absolutely covered the bases for me.
Did you have anything, Gianni?
Yeah, I kind of, with your, given your personality, you are very assertive, and I can tell that you are a leader. I can tell already. So I just wanted to know, and you have such extensive knowledge and experience. What inspired you to run for mayor? I know that you're kind of already in line for that, but what inspired you to do it in the first place?
So let me just say, being assertive has come over the years. Growing up, I was shy. I would cry in front of people, be nervous.
Yeah.
I would say the desire to run for mayor, I've always had the desire when I came back on council in 2017. It was just a timing.
Okay.
And so since the opportunity came, I knew it was time to step out and present my skill set and leadership to say I am the one to move the city forward. So again, from 2017 to now, I have been afforded opportunities to serve in leadership roles, take on certain tasks, and accomplish them. And that has prepared me for what I'm about to embark on now.
Oh, I love that.
Amazing.
All right. Well, unfortunately, we are out of time. So, Denise, what
Problem.
message do you have for the residents of College Park and shoot with the world? We are a global podcast. So, you know, what final words do you have for everyone, and also let people know how they can support you?
Oh, definitely. Thank you again for having me this evening. I would say I'm Denise Mitchell, candidate for mayor. I am the mayor that's tested, have true leadership. In such a time as this, you need someone that's able to move the city forward. Experience does matter, and that's important for us to be collectively one College Park moving forward. If you would like to support me, please feel free to give me a call at 301-323-3658 or my website, mitchellforcp.com. And thank you again for having me tonight. I truly enjoyed myself.
All right, Denise.
Thank you,
So it's
Denise.
mitchell4cp.com. Check it out. All right. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.